All right, guys, we're back. Shit, I don't know. Shit happened. Can't tell you what because I don't fucking know. So, all right. So, back to the topic of conversation here at the drag strip. Um, so that first day is real crucial for you to really know where your bike is at. Correct.
Yes.
Now, do they host? How many? Where are there different tracks do you go to for XDA, or is it one specific?
So generally, it's been two tracks: VMP in Virginia, and then MIR in Maryland. This year, we're going to do three tracks. The In the middle of the summer, we're going to go to the Rock, which is in like the western part of North Carolina.
Okay. Okay. So when you do these, it's almost like a week. You got to take almost like vacation time from your own job when you do these events, huh?
Yeah, I usually put in to have Wednesday to Sunday off with the HR department.
Matt, what's going on? How are you?
Oh.
Hey, Landon, what's
Leave me
up?
alone.
Matt's got his
Leave me
EX10 for you,
alone.
bro.
Oh, I know it's fast. I know. I'll be ready for it.
Yeah, okay, okay.
I'm sure we see each other sometime this year.
You know what's funny? All the like for the most part, all the ZX10 guys that I know are like in the heavier side of things, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
For the most part, I like it though. I like it. Too many of these fucking infant-looking guys running around. You know what I mean, bro? Like, what the fuck? You know?
Matt's probably the cleanest one though.
Oh no, yeah, Matt's like,
The
man.
second cleanest. Well, there ain't a speck of dirt on Matt's like ever.
No,
I don't clean my bike like that.
when he pulled that thing out of his van,
Ever. I don't see a speck
okay,
of dirt on the bike.
and I looked at that bike, that motor. I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, how the fuck do you keep this so clean, dude? You know, it makes you wonder if he races the fucking thing. It's that clean. No, I agree. Max is definitely the cleanest. But Evan keeps all his bikes like ridiculously clean as well.
I when I went to the Rhode Island meet with Evan, he had a kit in his back of his bike. He pulled out at the spot to clean his bike after he rode it before he raced it. Then after he raced it, he cleaned it some more while we were hanging out in the parking lot talking. That's dedication right there.
That's dedication. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Wow. That's fucking wild. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know, to each their own, bro. If he likes his bikes real clean, I get it. You know.
No, there's nothing wrong with it for sure.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. Landon, I saw that you brought your bike to the drag strip. How did you like it?
Oh, I loved it, man. It was great. There was no like figuring out who I was gonna race or trying to set stuff up or worried about like people complaining about what I was gonna do or what my bike has. It was just you go out there and race and you know someone's gonna be lining up right next to you the whole time. It's fun. It takes a lot of hassle away from shit and you can just focus on actually racing your bike, you know? And it's a different aspect of it too.
Do you think that's something you'd want to deep dive more into with time?
Oh.
Or
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I need to get another bike to be able to dedicate it more towards the track and towards, I got to figure out like what class I would want to race in and have a bike dedicated to that.
for that?
ZX10 is fun to take there and everything, but since it's set up for roll racing, I really need more aggressive gearing and a longer arm and everything to for its full potential there.
Would you do would you do a Cowie or would you jump over to the dark side?
I'd either do a turbo Busa or an all motor Gixxer for the track.
George, you're a turbo guy, huh? You enjoy turbo? Is that like your thing?
I don't know anyone who doesn't.
I've been an everything guy. I did a lot of nitro stuff originally. The first couple of years, I raced cars and bikes. The all motor stuff is kind of boring. It's fun to race other all motor bikes, but they just don't really give you that feeling that you get from the G-force of power adder stuff. So the turbo stuff is it's different, man. The nitrous bike, when you spray the nitrous on the bike, it hits you hard, and then it's just kind of like a motorbike at that point. And these turbo bikes, man, it just feels like they just never stop pulling. It's a way different feeling. It really makes me feel alive, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. So there's no going back for you.
Nah, I'm hooked.
Yeah, I can see why Landon wants. Who's the street bike? Is that Chris? Is that Chris's bike?
The
Tony's.
you talking about the one that I brought to Florida?
Yeah,
It's my buddy Tony's bike.
Tony. Okay, Tony. Because there's I thought what's you built a booster for a kid named Chris, correct or no?
Yes.
Over
that.
It's over there.
Somewhere
around there.
I get them mixed up. I get them mixed up because I always thought that was the bike that you were fooling around with because they're both black, right?
Yeah, well, one of them's like a dark gray. Oh, we got put in the cut. Man, I got so many fucking bikes in here right now. It's ridiculous.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a little idea. This is Chris's bike, the one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ, you do have a lot of bikes in there. Wow, man.
He's gonna race Real Street this year. So that's pretty exciting.
Really?
Yeah, check this bike out. So this bike actually came from the Netherlands.
Is that a Honda?
No, it's a S1000. It's a turbo S1000.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
It looked like an older Honda.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that on standalone?
Yeah, it's got a max ECU on it.
Jesus, how'd you figure that out, dude? That's not an easy build of foot.
So I used to be an S1000 guy, and I put a max on it, and I was one of the first that I know of to successfully get a max ECU S1000 down a track. So that's ended up how I kind of got hooked up with this guy. This is another bike that was shipped over here from over there. So it's a Turbo Busa.
That's awesome, bro.
But yeah, there's a shitload of bikes in here. It's a mess. It's hard to keep up with one person.
Wow, bro, huh? That's a big shop you got, bro. That's a lot of responsibility. That's interesting because not all guys like necessarily want the the liability per se of owning a shop. Was that a goal for you to have a shop, or were you okay with maybe working out of the garage, or it was a necessity for you to have a shop? Some guys have a preference, you know what I mean?
So, fun fact, I always wanted a shop. It was like one of those things like, all right, I'm fixing all this stuff. I'm getting good at it. Like, we had this little joke. We had this little joke where we used to say, oh, cross-built, this is a cross-built car, cross-built bike, had little stickers and stuff. And it was kind of like something that I always wanted to do, but I never thought that I could. And a couple years ago, in 2019, I ran into the back of a car. I was north of 190 mile an hour when I hit the car.
Whoa.
I got fucked up pretty bad. As soon as I could walk again, I started looking for a building to rent out. It was kind of like, all right, I lived. Why did I live? What is here for me? What do I need to do?
What's your purpose?
That's what started the official cross build. Is I knew that I almost died when you have a near death experience like that. You kind of look at life a little different. It takes a lot of the fear of, well, what if I don't make it? What if I can't afford it? What if I fail my dream? But after the accident, it was kind of like, well, I could die tomorrow, so why not try to live my dream while I'm still here? And that's what gave me the courage to actually open the shop up, was living and being able to walk again after the accident that I had.
That is not something that a lot of people walk away from, George. So, that's fucking amazing that you were able to come back from that and create the platform that you have today. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people look at, like you said, like, what if I fail? You don't fail unless you quit. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep trying, eventually you're going to get there. It's just having the courage to never give up. I think a lot of people are afraid of really facing that fact of, you have to have the courage to keep going.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I rather sacrifice everything for something that I feel like in my heart, I am made and I am ready for, right, than die not knowing. I can't deal with the fact of not knowing myself. You know what I mean? I need to
Yep.
be, I'd rather go broke and be like, you know what, man, I exhausted everything that I could possibly do for this dream or these aspirations that I had, than looking and being like, ah, man, I wish I would have. That doesn't fly with me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, the fact that, hey, that maybe that was a rough time, but it took you to the next level of your life.
Yeah. I mean, it it was really eye opener for me as who I was as a person, but also who I surrounded myself with. You know what I
Mm,
mean? The people that were there, and be honest with you, man, it was kind of nice to be laid up in a I moved so much and I worked so much because I only had one kid back at that point. I would work a lot, long hours. I enjoyed working, so you couldn't get me away from it. And it was nice to just have a break to really sit back and evaluate things. People would come out to my house and put me in the wheelchair and wheel me out to the garage, and I would help them fix shit. And then, it was actually just a very interesting time for me. I don't remember any sorrow or anything like that. And reality of it was, since the moment I opened my eyes on the side of the road after the wreck, everybody was so worried, and I'm like, guys, I'm alive. Like, it's like your bike's on fire, and it's like, fuck that bike. Like, I'm alive. Like, I shouldn't have lived
yeah.
through that. I knew I didn't have any head injuries, so when I woke up on the side of the road, I was very aware of everything that happened. Like, I knew exactly what happened, why I was where I was. So I've just been, grateful to live through that versus looking at the down the sorrow side of things, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, man? So shout out to your friends and the groups that you have, right? Because I'm sure being in the hospital, it gave you all the perspective you could possibly ask for. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? With the people you surround yourself with, the loyalty, right, that you have around you. This is a conversation that I was having with Super H2 the other day. Nowadays, what does loyalty look like? What does friendship look like? You know what I mean? I think it's very different than, what maybe our generation, the guys that are in their 30s, and older, deem friendships to be compared to what it really is now. You know what I mean? And like even when I first started getting into the scene, I think Landon, you just had your surgery, and I came across your page, George, and it was when you surprised Landon with
The
the
dash.
The
what was
dash.
it? Yeah, yeah,
Shit.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's some fucking real shit, bro. I was like, you don't see that. Like, you don't, people carry friendships differently, right? Like, everybody carries loyalty and friendships differently. But to see that, I was like, wow. I'm like, this is more than just a bike thing for these two
Yeah.
guys. You know what I mean? It's that's just not something that you see anymore. And I appreciate it just from the outside looking in, to see that kind of friendship still evolve, because it's just not something you really see too much anymore. You
Yeah.
know, so that was an awesome takeaway that you got all the way around, so I'm sure, so that must have been interesting when you saw what Landon was going through. Have you guys known him? Did you know him for quite a while, or was this built like within the last couple of years, your friendship?
The built last couple of years. I haven't known. I'm probably what
End
two.
of 2021.
Yeah. So dang, it's been that long.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. End of 21. Oh no, end of 22. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, end of
Oh
22. When I got
shit! Huh? Wow, man. See, but sometimes I listen. It's kind of funny, right? Because in the year or so that I've been in this, the amount of people that I've met that I wasn't expecting any real friendships to come out of this per se. You know what I mean? I've always been someone that I've had a very small friend group, core people in my circle. But man, surprisingly enough, man, the rotary scene has definitely placed people in my life that I was not expecting to be there. Coming from up, I've always been riding since I was 20, but this community per se that it definitely blessed me in that way with some really, really good relationships, and that was something that I was not expecting, and I'm very appreciative for because, man, 2025, man, it's just rough to just find genuine people, like real genuine people that want to be your friend without monetary gain or any kind of like,
Absolutely.
purpose behind it. I feel like a lot of the time nowadays, there's purpose. You don't really meet people that want to just really be a friend to be a friend, because they like your personality or what have you. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not really realistic, unfortunately, you know. So, moving along a little bit here, one question that I had for you was, all right, so you had your accident, you decided to go ahead and open up the shop. When you started building your motorcycle to be in the classes and really drag race and stuff like that, how was the support system behind that for you?
So everybody, like from your competitor side, everybody's very helpful when you're just stepping in, try to help you along the way. But I've reached out to many companies to ask for help, ask for support, ask for what do they have to offer for me for my race program. And it seemed like the first couple of years nobody really wanted to help, because which makes sense, because it's got to make sense for them. I'm just another guy with a motorcycle who knows what I'm capable of. You know what I mean? So it was I guess you would say my buddy Dre races Real Street, and he works in my shop with me. He gave me a lot of the keys to the get the locks open. So I was blessed to have that
Gotcha.
to start with. But outside of that, it was kind of like, good luck, figure it out.
I feel like, in the year, I feel like there's been a lot of changes even in the roll race community in the year that I've been in this, where in the beginning, and I feel like I might have even talked to you a little bit, Landon, at some point, just kind of trying to gauge and figure out some things. But from in the beginning, when I started, it wasn't easy to really figure things out and weight loss and stuff like that, as opposed to a year and some change later. I feel like there's a lot more information if you're willing to look for it in the masses. It's not, do you guys feel that way? Like it's not as secretive as it was maybe a year or so ago?
A little bit. I mean, I think that also just comes with the knowledge you gain, throughout the time of being there. Stuff becomes a little more obvious of looking at it. Like at first, there's a lot to look at, but the more you're in the scene, the more knowledge you gain. Everything becomes like a little more obvious. Of I could take that off, or I could change that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
From that perspective, yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah, so I think whether it's drag race or roll race, that's something that trying to get doors open, it's not easy. It's just not easy. You know what I mean? Why should we help you? Type of deal. Who are you that we should help you? Well, I'm sure this year they're gonna know who you are. You know what I'm saying? With that machine that you have, that you built, man. I can't wait to see that thing perform, man, by any means, bro. If you could sit here and gauge your year, right, in racing, what would be at the very top as far as what you want to accomplish or establish by the year 2026 for your business and your racing, George?
You threw me off with the last part of that. As far as for me, one thing that I want to bring in, more performance work and less, just oil changes and stuff like that. Trying to grow my business to a level where I can get some employees and have them handling, the easier jobs, where I can focus more on, the performance side of tuning and engine building. From a racing standpoint, hoping to, win a couple of races this year, maybe break a record. There's one I feel like is within reach, so I'm gonna try to shoot for that and see where that leads me. So
Gotcha. Have you felt growth in the years you've been in business though, just in general? You know what I mean?
absolutely. Prior to the racing stuff, so far every year that I've been in business, I've been more successful than the year before. Adding my racing program to it brought me a different customer base.
Yeah.
So that has really transformed the type of work that I do on a daily basis is way different this year than it was last year. And the year before, everything's kind of evolving for sure. But I definitely jumped up in the amount of work that I brought in when I started racing at the drag strip versus just out roll racing.
Gotcha. See, and listen, man, you chip away at things, man. You chip away at life. And as long as you're just, consistent, man, and you put out good work and you keep consistently proving yourself, you're going to get to wherever you want to be, George. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people just need to be diligent and believe in their craft and their trade and just keep pushing, man, because nothing is built overnight, dude. Fucking absolutely not.
No, I agree 100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%, man. George, bro, I appreciate your time, bro. I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I wish you nothing but the best for your race program. And thank you very much for your time, Landon. Thank you for joining us, brother. And once again, I do want to do a part 2 to this where I deep dive a little bit more to who George Cross is, but I want to do that personally. So I will be seeing you at some point this year, and we'll get that all together and schedule that.
Sounds good, man.
George, thank you guys very much. Landon, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Take it easy, guys.
Later.